can't keep a good lad down. Less than 1 month after losing his middleweight title, Michael Bisping will return to the cage on Saturday, November 25, 201 when he takes on Kelvin Gastelum in Shanghai, China. In UFC Fight Night 122's co-featured fight, China's most successful mixed martial arts MMA export, Jingliang, faces Zak Ottow, while Alex Caceres welcomes Wang Guan to Ultimate Fighting Championship UFC. Alex Garcia opens Fight Pass main card against the King of Kung Fu, Muslim Salikhov, who has knocked out 2 UFC veterans with spinning kicks in his last 2 fights. We've got 7 prelims undercard matches to reward those willing to wake up at 3:45 a.m. Here are the first 4, which include 4 debuting UFC competitors. 135 pounds. Yadong Song vs. Bharat Khandare. 19-year-old Yadong Song, 104, enters UFC as one of its youngest competitors, but brings with him 4 years of professional MMA experience. His current 31 run includes a decision over 134 Edgar Scrivers and a good-looking first-round knockout in 2016. He steps in for the injured Pinyan Liu on a week's notice. The first India-born fighter to join UFC, Bharat Khandare, 52, racked up 4 submission wins and 1 technical knockout under the Super Fight League banner, fighting at both bantamweight and featherweight. The much more experienced Ahmed Faris proved a bridge too far, though, and submitted the wrestling specialist partway through the first round. 3 of his 5 stoppage wins have come in the first round. Khandare is a physical powerhouse with strong wrestling and legitimately nasty work from top position, but I'm getting serious Carlos Vemola vibes. His striking is simply nowhere near polished enough to set up takedowns against quality opponents. Anyone with above-average footwork and distance management should be able to keep him swinging at air and charging into a pair of waiting underhooks. Liu arguably fits that bill. Song does not. The Terminator has power, speed and pretty much nothing else. He's easy to hit, not terribly sharp with his striking, and not much of a wrestler. Unless he can catch Khandare coming in with something nasty, he's going for a ride. With maybe 3 years of good training and careful matchmaking, Song could be UFC worthy, but not yet. Khandare hits a high-amplitude slam before transitioning to mountain pounding away for the finish. Prediction: Khandare via first-round technical knockout. 265 pounds. Chase Sherman vs. Shamil Abdurakhimov. Chase Sherman, 113, stumbled out of the gate in UFC, getting jabbed to pieces by Justin Ledet and knocked into oblivion by Walt Harris in his first 2 appearances. The Vanilla Gorilla has since asserted himself as won with a fight of the night slugfest against Rashad Coulter and decision over Polish veteran Damian Grabowski. All but 1 of his 10 knockout wins have come in the first round. Shamil Abdurakhimov, 174, had his own issues in his debut, a ground-and-pound stoppage loss to Timothy Johnson, but handily outstruck Anthony Hamilton and Walt Harris to earn a main event slot opposite Derek Lewis. Despite early success, Abrek eventually slowed down and succumbed to the Black Beast's devastating ground-and-pound. He will give up 2 inches of arm and leg reach. Sherman has undoubtedly improved in recent fights, showing a reasonably fluid striking style instead of the plodding headhunting from before. Stylistically, though, he'll struggle with Abrek, who thrives against slower, come-forward sluggers with his footwork and long-range kicks. The one caveat is that Abdurakhimov seems to wilt when things stop going his way, but he's got enough gas in the tank for 3 good rounds, and Sherman isn't a good enough wrestler to mash him on the mat the way Lewis did. Abdurakhimov picks him off at range in a fight that'll likely be closer on the scorecards than it is in the cage. Prediction: Abdurakhimov by split decision. 135 pounds. Yanan Wu vs. Gina Mazany. Bouncing between bantamweight and featherweight, Yanan Wu, 91, reeled off 7 wins before running into future Invicta champion Yana Kunitskaya in the latter's native Russia. She put the loss behind her with 2 stoppage wins in China, the most recent of which took place in March. 6 of her 9 stoppage wins have come by form of knockout. Gina Mazany, 41, who fell short against Juliana Pena in the Ultimate Fighter Tough 20, stepped up on short notice to face Sarah McMahon in February after Liz Carmouche withdrew with an injury. Things quickly took a turn for the worse as Mazany not only missed weight but tapped to an arm triangle just 74 seconds into the first round. She will give up 3 inches of height to Wu. Wu is aggressive, powerful and fun too. The issue is that she's totally unproven. Of her 9 wins, only 2 came against an opponent with a win on their record, Mang Bo, who was 10 when they first met and 11 the second time. The one time she faced a legitimate bantamweight, Kunitskaya dominated her on the mat. Mizani's record isn't much better, but Wu's struggles on the mat against Kunitskaya don't fill me with confidence, although Wu does do some good work from top position herself. This comes down to whoever hits the first takedown. I say it's Mizani, who puts her away with ground and pound late in the first. Prediction: Mizani via first round technical knockout. 145 pounds. Wu Lijibiran vs. Rolando D. Following an undefeated 60 start to his MMA career, Wu Lijibiran 104 hit a rough patch that saw him go 14, including 3 stoppage losses. He has since won 3 straight, 2 by submission and 1 by slam. He has submitted 4 opponents and TKO'd another 2. Rolando D. 861 made his name in the PXC promotion, taking standout Kyle Ogwan to a pair of split decisions during his run. His UFC career hasn't been quite as successful, suffering a technical knockout loss to Alex Caceres before dropping a close decision to Teruto Ishihara thanks to a point deduction for low blows. Die Incredible has knocked out and submitted 2 opponents apiece. It's hard to get a beat on Biran. The most recent fight of his I could find, a split decision loss to Dong Gyu Kim. He did so little that technical analysis is difficult. What I do know is that he's lost to lesser fighters than Die, often by stoppage, and doesn't seem to have the power to crack his foe's shaky chin. D was a point deduction away from drawing with Teruto Ishihara. He's not elite, and doesn't seem to have the potential to be, but he is a legitimately skilled striker with improving takedown defense. He roughs Biran up on the feet on his way to a decision victory. Prediction: D via unanimous decision. 3 more UFC Fight Night 122 prelims undercard matches to preview and predict tomorrow, capped off by arguably the best featherweight prospect in the world against a top-tier Muay Thai competitor. See you there, maniacs. Remember, too, that MyMania.com will deliver live round-by-round, blow-by-blow coverage of the entire UFC Fight Night 122 card this weekend, starting with the Fight Pass prelims matches, which are scheduled to begin at 3:45 a.m. ET right on through the main card that starts at 7 a.m. ET.